Greetings, fellow spirit detectives. Blue Dragon 5 here.
And Jacob Weil.
After our long journey into Dragon Ball, we've decided to turn the page in our Shonen Jump catalog to our next story, this time venturing us into the familiar sounding yet spirited world of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Last time, Dragon and Jacob watched as Team Urameshi fought their way to victory in the Dark Tournament, culminating in a thrilling final bout with younger Toguro. His next case looming, Yusuke investigates the appearance of psychics, the threat of the demon tunnel opening, and a missing VHS tape, all linked to the former spirit detective in the Chapter Black Saga. So yeah, we're finally to part 3 after the whirlwind that was the Dark Tournament Saga.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you top in this show? How do you top the Black Tournament Saga? And I think this arc answers you don't.
Yeah. You sure do try, though.
Like, don't get me wrong, it was still good.
Yeah, it's a heck of a try.
But it's kind of hard to top the Dark Tournament.
Yeah.
So, but it was still a good run. So, Dragon, opening thoughts then.
Yeah, so this was after my time with, honestly, seasons 3 and 4 were very much after my time on Yu Yu Hakusho, because, my main exposure was, Toonami and kind of basically what was kind of going concurrently with Shonen Jump at the time, which pretty much, went to the Dark Tournament Saga, and that's more or less just where it went.
So to you, that was basically the finale of Yu Yu Hakusho.
I mean, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I was very sad. Again, I mean, it's not that I thought the show ended, but that's just it just kind of had a natural wrap up, and I thought, well, I guess that's it. I mean, I was very interested here's the thing, upon my rewatch and getting back into Yu Yu Hakusho. So what happened was, I had been meaning to get Yu Yu Hakusho ever since I kind of was dipping into back into Dragon Ball and such, and I thought, yeah, man, it'd be really nice to get Yu Yu Hakusho. I looked into getting it, but I was stalled in that because at the time, Netflix had the live action Yu Yu Hakusho in the works, and to get everyone ready, they had the anime on there for a brief time, and unfortunately, much like I think they still kind of have the situation of Pokemon on there. I mean, I hear that might change come the Hulu Disney Plus thing. I don't want to just throw that out there. The point being, I was rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho through Netflix, and unfortunately, it pretty much had the. I guess more or less it had basically if you have the sets on Blu-ray, it pretty much goes to the it's not perfect separation on the Blu-ray. It's pretty close though. It's off by a disc. So, and that's pretty much how all the Funimation stuff goes, even with Dragon Ball. Basically you would have the seasons, the large majority of them kind of compressed into the disc that you need, into the set, the volume, the case. And I would basically on Netflix you had, I think, up to the basically before Team Toguro shows up. It's pretty much everything leading up to that, and then it's it just kind of stops. So I was interested to see. Oh man, I maybe think, I guess maybe ends of the Dark Tournament. So I'm gonna watch. It's oh crap! Now I absolutely need to get it on Blu-ray so I can have it and actually watch the ending of the Dark Tournament Saga. And then I don't know if it's I never knew, but I just kind of was refreshed. Said, oh yes, stuff happened after the Dark Tournament Saga. I genuinely didn't know. I didn't know. I thought it ended at the Dark Tournament Saga. I thought that might have been the ending, and it might have been a little something afterwards, like an epilogue or something. But I had no idea. Oh my god, we have 2 more seasons left. So this is Yu Yu Hakusho material I had never experienced before. So I remember I got the box set for basically using my Christmas bonus money. It was and I was very eager to get it. It's the 30th anniversary Blu-ray set, so it was all there, fancy little box art and everything. And yeah, it was Yes, it's very so based on that, based on like basically via streaming, and I think Hulu had this same deal, only it was like there longer. I don't know if the whole thing was on Hulu, but I'm pretty sure it went only up to like a certain point. And I was like, it was a complete blind spot, and I was looking forward to, man, I wonder how the heck do you follow up the Dark Tournament? So I went in this basically up to this and the last one I went in very blind to, not for our purposes, but basically I rewatched it, for our purposes, and I uh, I think this starts very strong. I think it builds momentum, but I think by the third act it really loses cohesion. It's we have a very convoluted final battle. And for me, ultimately, that's kind of where, Chapter Black, it's like they're trying to measure up to like the epic Toguro Yusuke fight, which, again, as Jacob has learned, you know, just an hour of a battle, but not like a dragged out, Frieza battle per se, or at the very least, not to the degree of like, man, we're really, kicking the tires on this one. Yeah, this was, this is very much them trying to chase, like, how they paint themselves into a corner. Like, how the heck do we top the Tagoro fight? And I think everything leading up to that was like a really good, kind of follow up. And it was like something that was different from the Dark Tournament, had a lot of intrigue. It was basically Yusuke doing a lot of detective work, which I think was very warranted. It was my favorite part of like this season, this arc. But yeah, it just at a certain point we just kind of, that battle, it just kind of goes on. They're throwing the kitchen sink in there, and in that we have some retcons that I am not thrilled about. I want to be clear. We'll get there when we get there in the conversation. It's like we have these retcons and revelations, and I guess just where it goes, it starts to feel like a different show. It feels like a different show, and that's kind of where season 4 kind of continues in that direction. And it's basically, I just, I don't think it hurts the story. I don't think it's badly told where we go with it. I just feel it is different. It's not the half of Yu Yu Hakusho that I'm head over heels for, that nostalgia for, that I think a lot of people showed up for. I think, and the thing season 3 has over 4 is that we still have like 2/3 of a Yu Yu Hakusho season, and then we transition to this different thing, and it's it's growing pains. It's not bad, but it is for sure. We're drifting away from what the core like selling point of the show was. So I feel it very much feels like you kind of want to wrap it up. Sorry, basically it feels like the season feels like it wants to wrap up, but I never loved that plot twist. It just feels like the Dark Tournament obviously could have been like a high note to end off on, but basically where we go with this, it feels like we are building to an ending, and then we throw a really big curveball at you, and we're still like kind of dot dot dot. There might be more story, so just a lot of this season, a lot of this, a lot of the, the Chapter Black saga is in Togoro's shadow. It's very apparent, and the main reason for that is that we have the unfinished business with the demon tunnel, which I think is like the price of admission. Like, you got to know what Sakio was planning with that, with the demon tunnel, and like what that looks like, and what kind of we have to pay that off. So it kind of necessitated like continuing down the story path, but it's like, hey, where we go, it's just kind of like we have the demon tunnel, but it's like we bit off more than we could chew. It's like we built up this big project. It's like this big, debatably last case that we have, and ultimately is kind of Yusuke's last case for all intents and purposes. And I don't want to say this. I don't want to spell everything out for what happens in 4, but this essentially is his last case. And I think it's a great last case for him to have, but it's just like a resolution. That's the point being. I'm sorry, I'm just drilling on here. My issues with the ending overall. I like the season. It's not as great as the Dark Tournament saga, but I think it's good. Just has kind of a, maybe not a weak sauce ending, but a very different ending than I than I expected and kind of ultimately wanted.
Yeah, like I said, as for me, obviously I'm going in blind, so I really had no idea what to expect with this one.
Yeah.
But you going in, you actually did kind of warn me. You did kind of warn me, quote unquote, about a change that you didn't agree with.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I remember when I got to that point, I was like, I can kind of understand why he kind of disagrees with it. I mean, I personally wouldn't go as far to call it a retcon, but
I mean, retcon's probably not the. I don't know. I think retcon's close to what the word is. It feels it's like they're retroactively saying something's been there the whole time. I think is that technically a retcon?
not necessarily. A retcon is like more something that actually like pretty much openly contradicts previously established lore.
Okay, well, fair point though. But it's like a retroactive. It's a very retroactive thing then.
I mean, it's border. It would be borderline, but it's not really. It's more of like a late stage revelation instead more than retcon because like they never openly said he was like. It's like they even kind of try to find out of their way to kind of justify it here in a way.
It's
Like,
it's an odd revelation. Okay? Even if it's not a
I'm,
retcon, it's just
I mean, I'm not gonna deny that, and this may seem like a kind of controversial take, but I'll save it for when we actually get to that point. But there's some kind of relation that I would like to discuss with that.
Okay.
But I pretty much understood. But I pretty much like so that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, that was. I told you. I warned them, folks, that he's asked me, well, at what point do we get it? It says you'll know it when you get there. It's towards the end. Like we're talking like maybe 3 episodes or so. It's like you'll know it when you get there.
Yeah, but I was like, is that it? And it's like he's like,
Pretty
yep.
big moment. Yeah.
It's like, yep. So anyway, so let's get into the chapter Black Saga.
So we start things off. We have a very cryptic kind of like villain introduction and a villain reintroduction. Elder Toguro lived.
Like so, even though you said he died.
I know. I was throwing you off the scent on that one.
Yeah, I kind of figured since I kind
Yeah.
of I kind of figured that
I
one.
said, yo, he's dead. He's absolutely dead. Can't come back. He's dead.
Like, well, yeah, I kind of figured that was a lie considering his power set.
Okay, now admittedly, he really should have died during that, but for some reason, he was too good to kill off. So
Yeah, younger Toguro is dead,
yeah,
and he even had a satisfying ending where he's like, "It would have been a beautiful life, Genkai."
yeah,
Still a great ending for younger Toguro.
yeah. Younger Toguro. Yeah, he died with honor. That one.
He did.
Yeah. Elder Toguro has to suffer more, which we definitely get later, but we'll.
Which I will admit is one of the most satisfying moments in the series so
So
far.
that's the thing. If we're gonna keep this guy alive, I mean, that's the way to take him out. That way. Yes.
Let me just say, way to go, Kurama.
Yeah. God bless that fox demon.
Yep. Like speaking of which, never mind. But let's see.
Okay, so the point that we have some Dark Tournament aftermath at the top here.
It's like Yusuke and Kuwabara are basically bored.
Yeah, so this is Yusuke's bored. He's kind of in that kind of complacent Rocky 3 kind of space. He feels like he's unchallenged. He beat the biggest, baddest guy, so he thinks. And it's like, well, what's going to challenge me now? And Kuwabara thinks, oh, poor Urameshi is in a funk, and he finds out, well, you're just bored. I was actually worried about you. And basically, we reveal that Kuwabara seemingly has lost his spirit powers. Really, they've gone dormant because he really pushed him to the brink in the Dark Tournament, and something more powerful is brewing within him. So it needs a little time to kind of formulate. Admittedly, for plot needs, but still, we got to formulate him. So Yusuke, we had this hilarious gag, by the way, like Botan. Of course, the ever lovable Botan. She kind of pops in there, and Kuwabara's pals. Oh man, they're fighting again like an old married couple, and we have like Botan show. I wonder who's the mother and who's the father.
And then they both imagine both with Koenma being the baby.
Yep.
And no one's like, oh, why did we think that?
Yeah, I guess who's the husband, who's the wife. Now, Jay, which one did you subscribe to? I know which one I picked.
Like, I kind of picked. I don't know how I should word it, but I think I kind of picked Kuwabara as the wife.
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
I kind of went the opposite. In terms of like what looked better, I think it was kind of
I don't know.
It was Yusuke as the wife. I gotta be honest.
I have no idea. Like I didn't really.
I will say this: Kuwabara as the wife looked like Lucille Ball, and it cracked me up.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
Anyway, okay, so Yusuke again, he's gotten complacent, and because of this, he gets into kind of a fight at school, but he underestimated his opponent, and because of this, he gets kidnapped by a trio of psychic students who have these territory taboo powers.
Which after the whole thing with Toguro and him basically being as strong as he is up to that point, Yusuke immediately being kidnapped from the first episode of this arc was kind of a way. It's a heck of a way to establish what the new status quo.
So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We start really strong with our little kind of teaser arc here. I love our little teaser arc, and this is what Jacob. I'm pretty sure. I cannot say with certainty if anything I saw from this, like on Toonami, by some chance, I really think I just ended the Dark Tournament. This is the only thing that seems vaguely familiar because when I watched it, it seemed familiar. Them going into the like basically the very beginning of the Kaito stuff. That's as far as I think if I got any because I remember that house. So it's possible I trailed off like right after that set piece. But anyway.
Yeah.
So so Botan and Kuwabara, they assemble a team to rescue Urameshi. Of course, he has some great comedy there, like his Kuwabara barging into Kurama school. And, of course, he's Suichi there. He's just saying, like, Kurama!
He's like, who's Kurama? Oh, that's just a nickname. Don't worry.
They have like this poor, like, the idea is like Kurama's like the rock star of the school. Like all the girls love him, and because he's got the boyish good looks. We have like all the science guys that desperately want to be on the team, and like so they can nail the assignments and get the girls.
And one of them actually tries to trap Kurama and Kurama's like nerd violence.
Which is just God. I love Kurama is one of my favorite characters, and I can't get enough of these. I love all four of these guys. I love our Yu Yu Hakusho characters, but Kurama, I think it's he's like the coolest one.
Like he pretty much is, and John Bergmeyer does a great job with him.
And Bergmeyer's delightful.
I just learned this, and I don't know if you're aware, but he's Linda Young's son.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know. This is news to me. That's awesome. That's really cool.
It's like I didn't know that. I just found out like not too long ago, and I'm checking on Wikipedia right now. It's like, yep, Linda Young is his mother.
Love it.
And they're obviously in a lot of stuff together. Mm. So I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you know?
Okay. All right. Anyway, so where was? All right. Okay. So, the point being, they per the ransom demands, and really for the mastermind wants to get them all, test them all. Ultimately, Botan and Kuwabara, they assemble everyone. Of course, Hiei is someone with like the demon whistle. So the idea is that Hiei is basically his probation, basically his punishment is that he's stuck on Earth and pretty much to Yusuke City. So he's pretty much trapped. He can't go anywhere beyond that. So they use like basically blow the demon whistle like a dog whistle. He falls out and he has to, they offer him like a commuted sentence or like maybe putting a good word with Koima to give, allow him to go beyond the city. And that basically they're all the House of Dimensions, which I love the set piece of the House of Dimensions. Very kind of a fun house kind of vibe. Our trio. So basically, our trio of psychic students here, they are in the context of the storytelling here. I love that they are a method of explaining the new mechanic of the season, and it's a warm up for the threats at hand, which are other psychic humans. Humans with like kind of psychic spirit abilities that are kind of applied to them. So these guys are kind of the warm up act. And very much kind of done through kind of games and stuff.
And I kind of wish they had more to do in the overall arc.
Yeah, I mean, we pay off some more than others, but you're right, though. I mean, we take one of them out of the equation pretty fast, and the other one, then basically, Kaito gets the most to do.
That he does.
Pretty much. So, speaking of which, well, first of all, Keto is the one. So so they have territories and taboos. Where essentially, I think territories is basically when someone activates their ability, and it's like it kind of overtakes the area, and the taboo is like specifically what they do or the rules applied to what they do. So Keto is the guy with like the big. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, sorry. The other guy has like the big eraser-like head. This Keto's the blonde guy who basically he can control people's shadows. And if he steps on your shadow, you're trapped.
Which is a pretty neat power. And then that's how he's able to trap Yusuke.
Yeah, which is great. And of course, Yusuke's kind of helpless and just like they're having basically taunting him the whole time.
And then when they come to the mystery house, they are not allowed to say the word hot.
Now, this is because of Kaito's taboo. So Kaito's territory, his taboo is that he has control over psychic control over words, and he can steal your soul if you say like the taboo word. In this case, is hot.
And he can establish pretty much any rule, and even he's not exempt from the rule.
And while you're in his territory, you cannot commit an act of violence.
Which pretty much immediately eliminates Hiei.
Yep. So basically we have the hot trap here, which is this is great. It's the idea that you say the word and you lose your soul, and Hiei instantly springs it, which is hilarious. He's literally just outright says just to test if this guy's bluffing or not, and well, yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if you don't say the word or not. It's if you say the letters in sequence, you still get trapped.
Say bottle, and I love like Koima. So of course, we've set this up in we've set this up since the beginning, but especially since the Dark Tournament saga. And here we do it for fun. That Koima's always watching, and he always is like the color commentator with George the Ogre, and we very much like this. Wait, what's happening? He rewinds the rewinds the thing, and he says like bottle, B-O-H-O-T,
each other with H-O-T and each other.
Yeah.
Which is I was like, oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's less BS in the original Japanese.
Well, yeah, it was a different word, and they had there was a dub thing, so they made each other was a dub thing.
Yeah, I know, and it's a clever way to get it to work.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it probably makes a bit more sense there.
Yeah. Anyway, so then, of course, because of this, so Kubar has accidentally said it. Admittedly, his was like more of like an understandable version, someone slipping into, because he had he was big and active. He was actively trying not to.
Yeah, and then Botan gets they saying each other, and then that saps her.
Well, no. Kuwabara says each other, and she says, "Oh, he didn't even say hot. Oh, look, I said the word."
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I love that silly Botan, man.
Yeah, she kind of walked into that one.
Yes, she did. All right, so it's up to Kurama. So Kurama then basically says, "Okay, this is we both know we're not going to say the word, so let's change the game."
And it's established that he and Kaito are kind of rivals.
Yeah, well, really, it's a one-sided rivalry. Kurama has barely paid Kaito any mind. Kaito is he keeps getting stymied again. He's like the second best again, still like A's and everything in the test, but the second best test scores.
He doesn't want to be second to anybody.
Yeah, so Kaito he's been angling to get one over on Kurama, so he eagerly accepts the challenge, which I think in the manga was 26 minutes. I think here it's 45 minutes. But the point being, it's like in a time limit, you have the entire alphabet basically as each minute or so goes by, you will be unable to say those letters, and whoever of course springs the trap will lose their soul, and that's the game.
But Kurama kind of games the system a little bit.
And again, he's non-violently. They also need a key to get to the other rooms, and Yana's the other guy, and he basically kind of swipes the key from Yana using the plants, and basically
non-violently.
Yeah, non-violently. Basically, get the plants, give him a hug, lift them up, and drop them.
Which is he did it non-violently.
Yep, it's a stealth takedown, but it's a cuddly stealth takedown. And with them. Basically Kurama. So again, this guy Kaito, he likes plants, and he has like all these plants in the area. And Kurama, of course, the worst thing you could have around Kurama is plants. So Kurama, he's going the full poison ivy. He's turned into like a forest and everything. He's provided he's looking around, and like time is running out, and basically, Kurama makes a very funny face, and it's just that corrects him and Koenma up, and he laughs uncontrollably. So he says certain letters and.
For being a fox demon, Kurama has a way with plants.
Oh, yeah. Well, fox's nature, that kind of.
Yep. But that's how. But he pretty much gamed the system and won.
Yep.
And which kind of further cements his rivalry with Kaito, or one-sided rivalry Kaito has with him.
Yeah. All right, so then we have Yana. So Yana is, basically his thing is shape shifting and like
And he
he's
can
more
also
like imposter abilities, and we have the imposter stairwell.
and he can also not only can he mimic the appearance and voice, but also the memories of the person he mimics.
Might be dead. I know it's fingerprints too. It's pretty conclusive. Like DNA fingerprints, like to a cellular. He's very convincing.
Like so, and that's what then the next test is actually Yusuke's.
So I love the imposter stairwell idea. Also, we got to talk about something really hilarious. So
Huh?
Botan's home shopping gag with Kuwabara. So
And
she demonstrates another detective item of the seven. She has the Gormagiru seals, basically the spirit seals. The spirit seals, which we demonstrate. Oh, Botan, what about the spirit seals?
it sounds like a very like Japanese reference,
Yeah,
like or because it's definitely like an infomercial. It's like Botan, what about this?
yeah.
Like, oh, I'm so glad you asked.
God, it's just so funny to me. It's also great when we pair up Kuwabara and Botan, just because they're such opposites. It's the hothead, this like little,
We barely get to see them interact anymore.
yeah.
Like, still nothing beats this like, marry me, pretty lady.
Now, to be fair, he stole that line from me, but yes, yeah, that's
Yep.
yeah, no, it's great. He's got a thing for the blue hairs. I can't fault him for that.
Like you like blue-haired women too.
Well, blue-haired anime woman, but yes.
Yeah, like, maybe in real life not so much.
I mean, they had like it was dyed and it was kind of like a Ramona Flowers kind of thing, sure, but
Yeah.
Anyway,
As long as you don't have to fight all of her ex-boyfriends.
well, yeah. I mean, it depends how easily you kind of like push them over and they fall, or is it like how how tough are they?
That's the question.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, most likely no. I couldn't bring myself to fight Chris Evans. I don't think I can do that. Brandon Ralph, sure, but not Chris Evans.
All right, but yeah, so they're all tasked with going up different flights of stairs.
Yeah, so they all do these separate flights of stairs, and the point of the spirit seals is that they write their names on it, and that way they'll know who placed what in there because only they can remove it. And basically, it tells you like if they're alive or not because of like blue, yellow, and red.
Like, and ultimately, the seals don't end up making that much of a difference.
No, they don't. They're still neat though.
They are neat, and they work better to reveal that the imposter can mimic even the DNA of the other, because only the person who put the seals on can remove them.
Which is impressive. So anyway, so this is what I'm talking about, like this whole season, man. So Yusuke gets to do a little bit of detective work here. Now, mind you, it's not his best detective work, but it's hilarious though.
Because it's basically him like I hope this works, and then punching Kuwabara.
Yeah, exactly. So Yusuke, he basically is trying to suss out who the imposter is, and he's
and I love how he like kind of thinks like Hiei is at first, and there's like it's like I would tell you like no, that's just regular Hiei.
Yeah. Yep. Also, we have the gag too, where like sadly we don't. I don't. If memory serves, we don't have a great payoff to this. It always bums me out. I blame it's like a season 4 thing, but basically we tee it up here yet again. So everyone but Kuwabara knows that Hiei's sister is Yukina.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't believe he finds out if memory serves. We'll find out. We get the 4, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't find out.
Poor guy.
Yeah, which again, the hilarity in that scene though, just like, oh, wait, you guys got a sister? Why didn't anyone tell me this? Really, we'll tell you later, Kuwabara. Just not. Anyway, so we have that, and we have. I love the pleasantries between Yusuke and Kurama, like finding out that like his mother's getting married, and he's very happy for him. It's the friendship of Yusuke and Kurama, man, always warms the cockles of my heart.
But he knew it was him.
Yep, just nice. The point being, he's like wasting his time here with his line of inquiry, including asking about Botan's bus size.
It's like well, you probably told me, and it's like, no, you did not.
You told me on the roof, which again, Botan like thinks the fact that she had to think about it for a moment.
Yeah, well, how else are you gonna find out?
Yeah. I like that he almost got it. I love that.
It's probably a good thing Keiko wasn't there
That's true.
because she probably would have let him have it.
Oh, that's all we know she would have.
Yep.
Anyway, so he punches Kuwabara. I love the rationale. So he punches Kuwabara, hoping this is going to work, and it's really nice because he says, "Well, you went with his instinct because the other guys wouldn't easily be taken down." And this I thought this was so sweet. Man, I love me some Yusuke and Botan stuff here. It says, and if you took on like if you hurt a non-fighter like that, and made me basically if you made me punch a non-fighter like Botan, nothing would save you from my wrath. Essentially, just the idea that he is so darn protective of Botan. He was everything that Botan, and it's the fact that she was like really touched by, it, despite earlier,
Despite his earlier attempts to figure out her bust.
But it's still really sweet though. Despite that, it's like he really cares about her, and she's like really kind of like, oh, so sweet. It's like, yeah, it's adorable, man. I love
and
it.
and of course his rationales for having them not choose Hiei and Kurama.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, it's a reflex from punching Kuwabara, so
Yeah, I mean, basically,
Worst case, he punches Kuwabara.
like Kuwabara gets like he gets worse than that pretty much every other day.
Yeah.
So
He's taking a week's worth of beatings for less. I mean, it's
first, like he's pretty much took a week's worth of beatings because of a teacher.
yeah, took it like a champ though.
Yep.
Anyway, so
the real orchestrator of these the real mastermind of these people, Genkai.
how did you respond to this reveal?
I was surprised. Like I was like, okay, Genkai, what the heck?
Yep. So Genkai she's noticed how complacent Yusuke is getting, and for the task at hand, especially with the power sets that he's going to be going up against, he needed kind of get he needed the test, he needed the push, he needed the preparation for the whole demon tunnel crisis. So speaking of which, the demon tunnel crisis that we now find ourselves in. So basically, someone is finishing Sakyo's project that we established in the background of the Dark Tournament saga with Sakyo that he basically blew up his plans and his designs for. But somebody's taking another approach at completing it.
In this case, using a psychic instead of money.
Yes. And so, long story short, in order to complete that, to do it naturally, psychically, you have to attack the Kakai barrier itself, which is basically a psychic net.
and we learn the truth about like the different rankings of demons.
So we get some world building here. So here's the two things of world building that we get with all this. So one, we get the 4 stages of the plan here. So here's our stake. So stage 1, we have the demon bugs coming into the living world, which we saw. I want to say they're the delivery mechanism for the psychic powers. They don't really connect that, but I think you can read into it.
And it also can make people very very ill.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the doctor does that one, Jacob.
Still using bugs though.
Well, he is. Yeah, you're right. He's using creepier bugs though.
True.
Anyway, so 2, humans get psychic powers, which obviously. 3, low-class demons can more frequent low-class demons are sneaking through more than usual. And 4, total passage. Basically, Kakai barrier goes down, anyone can walk through.
Basically, apocalypse.
Yes. Now, speaking of which, though, we get the class of demons things. Basically, Koima gives us a 101 on how the whole Kakai barrier and the class system works. Basically, Kakai barrier's psychic thing prevents the big demons from getting in. So that basically the demons that sneak through that he has his cases with. The reason we have demons in the living world is that there's like many levels of that the demons are at the very bottom, and there's so many different levels. Like it basically works like a giant, terrifying elevator, and Kakai barriers goes all the way down, and basically certain levels of it are stronger than others. And that's how you get, I think it's like from S to God, it's from S to E or S to D class.
And then there's the reveal of
Toguro.
being only a B class demon.
Toguro was a B class, and he wasn't an S class, he wasn't an A class, or a Super A. He was just a B class.
Which basically makes Yusuke go catatonic.
Which again, understandably, after everything he went through, and just finding out, oh yeah, he was just a B class, man. Like basically, the S classes are at the very bottom of kind of the scary diagram, elevator, the scary elevator diagram of how the demon separation goes.
Essentially, if an S class gets loose, the Earthers would basically be done for.
Exactly, S is like an extinction level event.
An Avengers level threat.
Oh yeah. So, Yusuke, so basically, it's up to Yusuke. They have basically they have 2 weeks on the clock, which then gets basically progressively shortened as the story goes on, like more so, like by the passing days, passing minutes.
Even to the point where they're like, okay, what was the point of the schedule in the first place?
Yeah, I admit it. That's what I'm saying. These are the elements of the season that are maybe like, okay, we have a lot of conveniencies for plot here.
Yeah, like it was a way to build agency.
Yeah.
Or
Anyway,
urgency.
yes. The point being, Yusuke, he has basically his task is he has to find out how many. So basically, who's the mastermind, who's the leader, how many disciples does he have, and what are the powers of everybody. Those are the three things he needs to figure out instead of barreling in head first, which is what Genkai's operative lesson is here. He's got to strategize. He's got to be a smarter spirit detective. Speaking of which, I love Yusuke's spirit detective look, where he has like it shows that he's grown up. He's still wearing green, but it's like kind of like kind of a suit jacket kind of thing. He looks great. I love his detective look.
Almost kind of like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's not a Letterman jacket. It's like a blazer or something, but it's like an open. It's like it's like a sport coat.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what a Letterman jacket is, right?
Oh no, a Letterman jacket is kind of like it's more like the football kind of jacket. It's the one with like the patches on it.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a little different. I mean, that's the thing. He's just more like he's kind of wearing like some really snazzy casual wear. It's
yeah, he is. But
one day he looks a lot, but he's not wearing a school uniform. He looks more grown up, and it's still green. It's kind of like it's a graduation of like the Yusuke's look, I feel.
And Koenma essentially seems like he knows more than he's letting on.
That's true. So Yusuke is tasked with kind of solving this, these matters, and we start with Maroda the Reader. So Maroda the Reader has a very familiar voice, Jacob.
And that is
Sean Schimmel.
Right.
Yeah, so he's basically this mind reader, and we have one of the great. Well, again, such a great gag where Yusuke says he's gonna punch him, but stop short right before he does.
And then he's like, I'm going to punch, I'm going to stop. And he just says it over and over again to reassure him.
Yep. And he just basically, bam, just punches him right in the face.
Like, he actually doesn't really punch him. He just basically does stop near his face.
Yeah.
But the sheer force of it still knocks him back.
And again, I love this little bit here. It just shows you that he did take some lessons from Toguro, where it's like it's about 60%. Of all, again, it's literally him saying about 60%. It's like, oh, hey.
He did learn something from Toguro.
Yeah. Actually, wait, did he say 30 or 60%? It might have been 30. I'm not sure.
I don't remember. It's probably 30.
Regardless of the fact that the old man is pulling Toguro. Nice. So, anyway, so this guy's a mind reader, and they're going to use, again, Yusuke has a good strategy here. Let's use the mind reader to basically sit him down in a public area. We know it's concentrated to this city, to Moriarty City. Oh crap! I'm trying to remember what the name of the city.
I don't remember either.
Okay. The point being the kind of the city. I think it's Moriarty City or something. It starts with an M. So the point is, it's concentrated to the city, like they're in kind of this public area, and he's basically kind of reading the minds of everyone until he gets like a beat on someone. And boy, does he! And we get the lowdown on who our 7 interested parties are here. So we have Black.
We get the various, and we also hear one guy just going like, kill them all, kill them all, kill them all, kill them all.
Mushiori City.
All right.
That's where it was close. Anyway, the point being, so he's there, and we have like all these dark thoughts. He's kind of singling on. We learn who our 7 people are. These are the names that he got. We have Black Angel, who essentially is our big bad guy. Gatekeeper, the psychic who's trying to break everything down. The sniper, well, guess what his build is. A lot of these names aren't subtle.
The
You have
doctor.
sniper, doctor, game master, seaman, and gourmet.
Gourmet was freaky,
Oh yeah, gourmet was nightmare fuel.
literally.
Yeah. So we see. Let's see. So we see Sensui. Sensui essentially is Black Angel. We see so Yusuke kind of makes eye contact with him in the crowd. Of course, the moment he's looking at the guy, eraser bullet, bam, right to the right to Morota's head. Which again, for a moment, you think, oh my god, the guy's dead. In reality, no, like this is like a warning shot by Sniper. Sniper essentially is Bullseye with anime powers. That's essentially what Sniper
He
is.
can basically hit him from anywhere with anything.
And he can do this marking thing later, so it's pretty much it's like Bullseye just take one step beyond, just one little step beyond.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so they go to the hospital, and while at the hospital, they realize, oh crap, this we're in the doctor's territory now, and then we have like the threat of like the spirit bugs, which are making everyone sick, and basically if they don't knock this guy out, everyone's gonna die, and possibly even Keiko, because she's in the hospital being pursued by these things.
How long was Shizuru?
Yep. So we have this great idea where Kido is there. So again, Genkai has her new disciples, her new students, because they came to her like, hey, we have these spirit abilities. Can you help us out? And she basically kind of turned them into you can help the cause here. So Kido is there and helping Yusuke, and he gets basically paralyzed by the doctor very creepily. This doctor freak, of course, you know me. My thing, I'm terrified of medical stuff in hospitals and all that kind of thing. So this guy is my nightmare fuel for me. Plus, he uses bugs. It's like this guy, he's got flying bugs, and and he's a doctor. This guy is like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, you don't like doctors.
No.
It's like, doctor, give me the news. Dragon does not like doctors.
I don't like medical stuff. So by proxy, this guy is like the arbiter of my worst nightmares.
And apparently you don't like bugs either.
Well, I don't like bees. I don't like bees, and I don't trust the flying ones, and I really don't like bees.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this guy does a double dose.
Pretty much, more or less,
Pun intended.
Yeah, yes, Jacob. So the point being, there's a great bit where he paralyzes Kido very violently using his psychic scalpel. The psychic scalpel is terrifying. This invisible knife. It's essentially like a medical laser you can use.
But then he manages to use his shadow to write out the name of the doctor.
I love this idea that Yusuke's in the room and he can't talk, but he's trying to point the guys in the room, and you're rooting for Kido here. And again, it's impressive that again we kind of like these Genkai students as much as we do, given the little time that we have with them.
Yep.
Kido is like he uses his shadow to scroll out the doctor's name, and then but initially he won't let Yusuke leave. Like he's using his territory, so Yusuke can't know he's here. He's trying to signal him without being able to talk to him.
So yeah, the doctor does end up being quite a formidable foe for Yusuke.
He's got a psychic scalpel. He can Yusuke blasts the limb off of this guy, and he stitches it back on.
And he doesn't feel any pain because he can basically flood his body with morphine. Basically, they say morphine or like endorphins or something like that.
Well, I think it's more like his pain, his nerve center is pain settings, so you can't feel anything. I don't know if it's necessarily morphine, but I think it's I don't know. I think it's more like he can just turn off the pain receptors.
He basically makes it so he can't feel any pain.
Exactly. So. And again, here's something we have never had. Okay, all of these guys, they are human given psychic abilities. So that's this fight in particular establishes the stakes of Yusuke could be killing a person for the first time.
And he does bring up something about mentions being shown something.
Oh yeah.
But what could that be?
So all these psychics, they've been given powers because of this demon tunnel, but in addition to that, they've been shown something that really sway them to Sensui side. They really have no investment.
And who is Sensui? We haven't talked about him yet.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We're gonna get a little sense. We're gonna get to Sensui momentarily. We gotta after C-Man, we'll talk about Sensui.
Yeah, but they
But
were
this guy, the idea they've been shown something that has like disconnected them from their humanity. They've seen something really horrible about humanity that is just kind of got them to the side of demons.
but what could it possibly be?
Yeah. So anyway, so the point being, the pressure is on. He's got to take this guy out, but it's also like if Yusuke kills this guy, the first time he's killing a human, and also it's another kind of thing where if Yusuke eventually when he dies, he could he's gonna face some judgment for that.
But Genkai brings him back to life.
Which was great. Ultimately, Genkai saves the doctor to save Yusuke's soul, and everyone is cured of the virus, and
Because he had to be knocked out or killed
yeah.
in order to release the hold on everyone.
So it all worked out. They seemingly have 1 week left, which is about to get a lot shorter. So a week has passed.
Basically, whole thing is like, oh, it'll happen in 2 weeks, and then that whole thing ends up happening in like a day or so.
Now, admittedly, I think like a week goes by, and then when the week goes by, then it's like, okay, we just keep moving up the timetable like unfairly.
Yeah.
So with a week left, this is what I teased up with Kuwabara's look during the finale, during like the last battle of the last 2 battles of the Dark Tournaments saga, where the outfit that he's wearing, I'm pretty sure, is based off his favorite band, which basically he is very insistent upon seeing. So there's a week left, and Kuwabara is without question, he is seeing the Megallica concert.
Yep, and I can't really blame the guy.
Yep, and Kuwabara's been through a lot. It's like, plus at the world's end, he's not missing Megallica. Megallica, I'm pretty sure, is like where he got the idea for like the all white outfit with like the shirtlessness.
I can't really blame the guy for wanting to go see the concert, especially considering he said how rare it is. And like, I wouldn't even be surprised if that's where he got the pompadour from.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Like, I mean, heck, I'm going to a concert in the next in literally 6 days.
Are you gonna wear the pompadour?
Well, no, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, next literally next Wednesday, I'm seeing Weird Al Yankovic.
I mean, you can pull off the pompadour.
Like I have an afro wig. I have a wig that looks like his hair.
Yeah,
it's the same costume I wore to a convention, so I'm gonna wear that to the concert.
Are you gonna wear the fat suit underneath of it?
Unfortunately, I don't have a fat suit.
Oh man,
I'm already kind of fat as it is. Not as fat as that, but
like, you ain't fat. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. Oh.
Anyway. So on his way back with his friends and wanting to actually go to karaoke with them, which lets Kuwabara and his friends.
Yep. So he and his buddies are also. I love the fact that he and Yusuke are getting into like this fight over this silly. Like, you're going to a concert during the end of the world.
Like when Kuwabara doesn't show up, he's like, I'm going to the arcade.
And Genkai, I love that Genkai thinks, he's just saying that it's blustery. He's actually going to follow him. He says, "You dimwit! You actually went to the arcade. What's wrong with you?"
Yep.
I said I was going to the arcade. He says, he doesn't have his powers. He's a target. And he's actually gone dormant. Well, you could have said something.
Genkai doesn't always communicate the best.
Admittedly, Yusuke, I think, had a point here. Where she really could have given an inclination. Kuwabara is going to be a target. That the powers have gone dormant.
He could. Yeah, unfortunately, Genkai doesn't always communicate the best.
No.
But there's a reason why they're after Kuwabara.
So this is a great setup. Kuwabara is completely defenseless in the moment, and he goes up against Seaman, who basically is like this. Basically, the guy who's probably most in touch with his humanity, but he has very much been blind. He's the guy who's been very much kind of shell-shocked by the tape.
Which we'll find out more about the tape later.
Yeah, so he's very much been spread the gospel of Sensui here, and he's blindly following that. He says the humanity's like evil, and he believes Kuwabara is systemic. Kuwabara and his buddies are indicative of that, just blindly, and he basically uses his water abilities to try and drown his friends. But firsthand, though, he sees Kuwabara's loyalty to his friends and the inner strength from within that he summons. he doesn't give up on him. He's actually, again, this feels so right that Kubar is defenseless. It's a rainy situation. He's got Seaman here, just like and putting all of his friends in peril. We've seen Kubar go to bat for his buddies before, and again, the fact that poor Kubar feels so helpless without his powers that they might die. He won't be able to live with himself if
He's like,
that happens.
why now? Why do my powers have to go now?
Yeah. So Kubar, of course, one of the great characters. He summons. The fact that he moves Seaman so much that he basically kind of like gets him back on the path of getting back in touch with his humanity. Is the fact that, like, hey, this people are good. Like Kuwabara has always been like this. He's got his honor code. He's just been a real straight arrow, just a really lovable guy, and he summons the strength to save his friends using the Dimension Sword. Using the Dimension Sword, and I so love this. Yusuke gets there too late, but it's like, you're a Meshi. I saved them all.
And he literally had carried like his three friends and Seaman all the way to Yusuke's apartment.
Yeah, it's great. So again, all this inspires Seaman to switch sides, turn on Mr. Sensui, and that basically gives us that we then are told about the Chapter Black tape. So the Chapter Black tape, hence our title for the arc. So, Jay, tell them about the tape.
Like the tape is a tape that thousands of hours long, supposedly, which chronicles the darkest chapters in human history, showing humanity at its absolute worst.
Oh yeah, like the indefensible, so the idea is this thing. So Koima, he records everything on VHS tapes, so like all of humanity, and he sees everything, knows everything. So he has like all of these VHS tapes that we've established, and this one was like the bad one. The idea is like for orientation, you would have this one, and you'd have one of all the good stuff. It's supposed to be a package deal.
And
but somebody, the demon kind are obsessed with this tape.
And the name of the tape, the Chapter Black.
Yes, the Chapter Black tape. So essentially, we get Sensui's backstory.
Like, Sensui was once a former was the previous spirit detective.
A revelation that Kurama figures out.
Oh yeah.
And Yusuke is very upset about it, where Kurama's saying, how should we confront Koen with this? And it's like, Todd! I was just like, just yelling at him on the thing.
Like, and as it turns out, Kurama, Sensui was kind of a naive kid growing up. Like, he had a black and white sense of right and wrong.
Yep, he was a prodigy, kind of killing demons and apparitions.
Until he befriended one named Itsuki.
Yep, which kind of parallels, Yusuke and Kurama and Hiei, only less romantic undertones.
Yeah, also his thing with Itsuki is much creepier.
Yeah.
Especially with all the later revelations with Itsuki as well.
Yeah.
Like so. And then so they kind of team up and become partners.
Yep.
So and then Koenma basically sends him on something that could upend the demon trading business.
So he sent him on a mission to basically create the Kakai barrier, and so he's creating the Kakai barrier, or at least fixing or sealing the Kakai barrier for the first time. And while he's there, he basically, he encroaches on the Black Club, who we established. The Black Club is doing like the Feast of Sins, like this demon, kind of like demon human trafficking thing.
Like he sees something that shatters his mind.
Yeah, it's just like humanity acting like the Feast of Sins thing is the fact that it utterly broken just seeing them abuse these demons like so horrifically.
Like grinding demons into basically just grinding demons, torturing them, enslaving them, bathing in their blood.
Yeah, just horrible, and it shattered his seeing everything in black and white, and he killed the humans. It was a whole thing. And basically, he basically left. He kind of quit being a spirit detective, and he took the tape and he disappeared. And Koenma can never find him since. He went into hiding for a while. It was kind of, I guess, planning his next move.
So but he'd been waiting for just the right moment. And then when he learned of the new spirit detective and what he accomplished in the dark tournament,
Yeah. So basically, really, he was waiting for Quima to find a replacement. Upon finding the replacement, it was like waiting for the time to be right.
and that time is now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, the idea of our big bad guy being the former spirit detective, I think that's like one of the big, like, okay, this is where we're going here's a direction we can go in for, the follow up to the Dark Tournament. Like, there was a guy who came before Yusuke, and, it's kind of, pitting, kind of Yusuke's skills against this guy's skills, but, like the more seasoned, like, veteran spirit detective, versus like the young kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and plus is the whole they're kind of calling out the hypocrisy of spirit world and and stuff here, which is it's the whole blind kind of like going after all the demons and everything.
Yeah. So when Sensui, it turns out, is using the barrier to let all the demons through, or so he says, and to wreak havoc upon humanity and atone for their and have them basically. He's going to become like the judge, jury, and executioner for all humanity,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah. So so Sensui and Sniper they attack everyone. Kuwabara saves Seaman from Sniper. We have Yusuke and Sensui have like 3 rounds in kind of the 3 acts of the arc here. So Act 1, round 1, Yusuke versus Sensui. We see that Sensui has like this footwork based martial arts style, the Rishuken style, and then
Rishuyukin?
well, yeah, I know we have like the Roku Ryukushin. Yeah, so yeah.
All
But yeah,
right.
the Ryukushin style and the Roku Ryukushin kind of like that's basically his answer to the spirit gun, like the energy ball. Again, round 1 very simple. This is the idea. Sensui is he's got experience on his side, and he's got the footwork, and it's like something like this guy he kicks like the Dickens. So Kuwabara gets kidnapped, and we have this awesome car chase. My favorite gag in this being Yusuke again. He kind of goes in, he kind of fires blind. He fires the spirit gun, forgetting, oh my god, Kuwabara's in the back of the truck.
Thankfully, thankfully, question mark, it gets deflected.
Yes, and then Yusuke's response to this is he steals a bike and a Keiko. He's like, Yusuke, it's not yours. Like I'm just borrowing a Keiko. He steals the bike.
It's for the greater good. The greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. And he's basically like, he's riding it like Mach 5.
He's he's able to, like, I wish I could ride a bike like Yusuke does.
Don't we all?
Yep. And then and then it turns out Gourmet is basically he didn't really tie up Kuwabara with rope.
Yeah, so we saw he basically so Elder Togoro was kept in like a little fish tank, helping
Sensui.
helping Sensui, and Sensui basically kind of double cross him by feeding him to Gourmet, like letting Gourmet eat him. The fact that Gourmet is so eager to eat him too, by the way, is like already it's like ugh. I mean, initially again, we keep finding ways to possibly kill Elder Togoro. It's like, oh no, he is far from dead. We're using his powers, and well, not the end. So, but again, I love that. Like, oh, I thought I recognized the script, and it was like,
My eyes went wide when I first saw even just the shadow of Gourmet swallowing Elder Toguro.
oh yeah,
I'm like, oh god.
pretty terrifying, right?
Yep. Then it's like, and Elder Toguro is just bad bad enough as it is, but then the fact that Gourmet can eat anything and basically anything.
It's just the fact that Gourmet is like, I can't wait to eat you, Kuwabara. It's just he's so freaked out. Oh, poor Kuwabara.
He's a humanitarian.
He's a foodie.
Yeah.
He's a cannibal foodie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, so Yusuke's given chase. Yeah, of course, Sniper intervenes. So we have Yusuke versus Sniper, which is a really fun battle against Yusuke. He ends up shirtless a few times in this arc. So he ends up with all these markings on his body, and basically these markings are like 5 bullseyes that.
He's like, oh yeah. Basically, that means he's marked, and that means whenever whatever I was about to call him bullseye sniper shoots out at him will always hit him no matter what.
Yep,
well,
and
well,
I love
well,
how terrifying it is too. The idea anywhere you go, it's gonna find you.
when the first thing he tries a whole bunch of rocks, which Yusuke is able to punch.
Mm-hmm.
But then he escalates to knives, which Yusuke is like, I can't really punch those.
Yeah, this is a great fight. It's raining knives. He can't punch him, so he ends up like deflecting and catching. He ends up having to catch like like two of them, like one with his toes, I think.
Yeah, but he does manage to do that, and the biggest concern that Sniper has, like, I shouldn't have wasted those knives.
Yeah. So then the hilarity here. Okay, so again, Yusuke again, he's just always the paranoid, like he could be anywhere. And then what does he throw at him next, Jacob?
Like, well, Yusuke tries to make it to the road to try and continue finding Kuwabara,
Mm-hmm.
but then he's going to try and hitchhike. I was like, unless I think I'm some kind of weirdo with all
Yeah.
these tattoos.
Yep.
But then there's a truck coming, and then you realize the truck has no driver.
He's pulled a duel on him.
Pretty much, he sent a gasoline tanker after Yusuke, and it chases him.
Which is just like he goes off and is just following him down into the forest. It's like, oh god.
It's like that. Like that was like one of the most fun bits in this entire segment, this entire arc.
Yep.
Like, well, it's like because technically, Sniper did say he could send anything after Yusuke. Like, it's not limited to just things like ammunition. That includes trucks too.
So earlier, we should mention this. So earlier, Hiei got very offended finding out that he's a B class demon, kind of like Toguro, and it insulted him, and he was very much just kind of
and that he basically just used to be considered like a D class demon.
Yeah, which is like even insult to injury. Used to be weaker Hiei.
And remember, he was like the first one to give Yusuke trouble.
Yeah, more like C class, I think, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then of course Yusuke's about to be blown up by the tanker, and Hiei saves him, swoops in, and he basically takes on Sniper and impales him. So put an end to the bullseye stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, they have a little impromptu. There's a lot of kind of some finality here where it feels like we get like the Yusuke Hiei rematch we've been kind of talking up for a few seasons.
It is kind of interesting that Hiei just essentially one shots Sniper.
Oh yeah,
seemingly anyway. But
well, I mean he's good at that kind of thing too.
It's like, well, it is kind of like bringing a. This is the one case you kind of want to bring a sword to a gunfight.
Oh yeah.
But then we have the rematch between Hiei and Yusuke.
So yeah, the whole thing is that he's pretty okay with the demon tunnel opening because he won't have to be stuck to the city anymore.
Oh yeah.
He'll be able to go where he pleases, and of course he has nothing invested in humankind, and the two of them hash it out, to have a little fight there, and so we reveal Hiei did that just kind of keep Yusuke on his toes, basically the Genkai lesson, the whole Dark Tournament lesson. You always have to be pushed to push beyond your limits. You need to be stronger.
And basically this is also a roundabout way of Hiei saying he doesn't want the Earth to fall under control of demons. Like he's kind of grown fond of it.
Yeah, also Yusuke calling out the unspoken friendship between them, which is really nice. He sees through Hiei. He knows, like, he knew he'd help when they need him to. We have a really funny Hiei line. I really love it, where he says, Yusuke says they kidnapped Kuwabara, and Hiei says, "But I hate Kuwabara." Just so very honestly, it's like a genuine question. But I hate Kuwabara.
Like he hates Kuwabara and he tolerates Yusuke and Kurama.
Yeah. Of course, why he hates Kuwabara.
Yeah, well, because he sees him as like the sword technique.
Well, no.
Well, then why?
Well, I'm saying because he dates his sister.
Well, he's interested in his sister.
Yeah, when they dated while they were, while she was in the living world, but
Yeah, so that is another reason why.
Yeah.
Like,
So deep down, he will always hate Kuwabara for that. But beyond, you know,
but he can't. But he can't ever tell Kuwabara that.
nope.
And not that he'll even admit that he even remotely tolerates Yusuke and Kurama.
Yeah.
Like that's like the highest praise you can get from Hiei is that he tolerates you.
Yeah, like he is thinking, like, why can't Yukina date Kurama?
Do you think you'd even want that?
I think you would, honestly. I think he really likes Kurama. I think he'd co-sign the Kurama relationship.
Yeah, like I said, I think the highest form of praise you could get from Hiei is that he tolerates your existence.
Yeah. Anyway, so then Yusuke bribes Hiei to join the fight officially
Using the chapter black.
Yep, of course, every demon salivates over the tape, and Hiei's wanted the tape for a long time, so it's like, okay, team up. He's back on board. So then of course we need all the people we can get for the game master. Game master, he's a little kid, little boy who plays in the arcade all day, and he basically we had a little kind of sad boy flashback to he and Sensui playing in the arcade. And he's the only guy who would play with him.
And keep in mind that they found the tunnel, and the place is actually in a cave known as the Demon's Mouth.
Yes.
It's like, and also it's kind of funny that they take the entire group down there to fight the game master while Botan is just like, it's like they think they didn't take me because I'm a girl and they don't think I can play games. I'm like, did you not notice that they also took Genkai with them? Like Genkai's with them, and clearly your biological sex isn't the determining factor here.
Well, I mean that's Botan. She didn't think it through when she said it.
Like, but I do kind of like the revelation that not Botan, but Genkai is very up to modern video games. It's like, what did you think? I just played solitaire for 50 years? Like Genkai just keeps getting cooler and cooler. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We established Genkai, with the spirit trial. The games have spirit awareness, like you said. So we've established this.
But even then, it just shows that she plays the games, just plays games even recreationally too.
My favorite thing on the rewatch, I completely forgot about, is that we set up that Yusuke, the arcade game he was playing, was Goblin King.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
But it is kind of funny that he gets literally the easiest one.
Yeah, I guess the fighting game, which kind of I got him. It gave me a little bit of Jimmy Neutron flashbacks.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, the whole the Ultra Lord game.
Yeah.
But anyway,
also kind of the Danny Phantom episode too.
Yeah, you're right. A little bit of that. So yeah, we have Yusuke in the fighting game. We have Genkai and kind of the flying military game. We have
like the helicopter pilot.
Yeah. And we have Kaito with the quiz. And I love this whole Kaito with the quiz thing because the idea is the kids set him up. This whole thing, even if Kaito knows the answers, the whole
Kaito knows the answers, but the game master has the tracks memorized.
Yeah.
It's like so he's
doomed.
It seems random, but it's basically an infinite amount of tracks.
Yeah.
That's loaded in.
So ultimately, Game Master, he's not really trying to kill these guys. He's trying to stall them. He says, "Oh, I'll let you guys win eventually after Miss Sensui's finished."
Essentially, he doesn't understand the role he's been assigned.
Because all he wants to do, he's not a bloodthirsty kid. He just wants to play games with people using his new powers. That's about it.
But then basically, Kurama reveals that you will die too.
Ultimately, Sensui is a big running thing in Sensui's plots has been the moral thing of do you kill these humans? He basically wants to expose the hypocrisy in Yusuke, Koenma's new flunky of okay, look, you're going to have to make these moral compromises. You're going to kill humans, which makes you know better.
Which kind of falls flat when when they actually beat them without killing them.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. And he impaled the guy. He missed the vital organ. He's basically took him out.
Oh yeah.
So that's the thing. So Kurama, he fears victory, knowing that this again. If they do, at some point, if they win, and the kid does not know, even if he throws the game like he says he does, at some point, Goblin King dies in the game. That's you beat the boss. That's the end.
And basically his territory basically enforces the rules of whatever game he's playing. and whatever role he takes up. And when he takes the role of the Goblin King, that means if if they win at any time, he dies.
So Kurama, I love that Hiei kind of calls this out here that Kurama has really it's a brutal thing, and Kurama hates himself for doing this. But and I love this detail. Kurama he hates himself for doing this, but he's being the cold strategist, where they're playing a game of threes and sevens, which essentially is Tetris with numbers.
It was like a combination of like Tetris and Puyo Puyo.
Yeah.
You know what Puyo Puyo is, right?
Not really. No.
Well, it's kind of like Tetris, but it's like where you combine like these different color blocks in like sets of three and four to form a chain.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's different from Tetris. It's kind of, I'm not explaining it very well, but it's like you have these like different color bubbles, kind of,
Yeah.
and you kind of like you like rotate them in different ways, and you form a chain to block it. They're not blocks, but you have to, and it, you know how in Tetris it has to be in a row.
Mm-hmm.
With Puyo Puyo, it's basically any like, it can be a chain. It doesn't have to be a direct row.
And this isn't like the game where you shoot the bubbles at the top, is it?
No, that's Bubble Bobble.
Okay. Okay.
Or maybe Super or Buster Brothers.
I think it's Buster Brothers.
Yeah, that one is Buster Brothers, but Puyo Puyo is played a lot like Tetris.
Okay. Well, the point being, there's this game that basically the kid, Kurama has psyched the kid out with the revelation of like, your friend, your mentor here has kind of betrayed you and set you up for death. And it's also like the point being, this poor kid, he kind of dies. He dies scared, and Kurama feels terrible about it. He feels he's really upset about that sense where he's forced him to kill this kid.
Yeah.
And of course, if there's any lesson you can take away from Yu Hakusho kids, don't make Kurama mad.
It's like essentially that's what almost everybody learns.
Yeah. So oh, by the way, meanwhile, we should mention this too. We see King Yama.
We finally see his face.
Yeah.
Well, we see his face later on, but yeah.
Well, still, it's the idea we have. King Yama. He's getting involved for the first time. Korn was going to him saying, "Do I have permission to use the pacifiers?" He's like, "Well, if even necessary, sure." But it's the idea that his father is not having faith in Korn's abilities this time, which means the stakes are getting bad.
Like he only ever interferes or sends the special defense force in extreme dire circumstances,
which is happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
But he allows Koenma to remove the limiter and use his pacifier.
Yep. So Gourmet, he not only did he eat Elder Toguro, he ate Maroda,
which is disturbing.
Oh yeah.
But then not only did he eat Elder Toguro, it's revealed he now is Elder Toguro.
Now remember the method in which we revealed this, Jacob?
Yeah, it's like because he was fighting Kurama.
Yep, and Kurama pulled out the rose whip
and basically cut off the top of his head like that.
I love it. It's not just he cut off his head; he cut off the top, bisected,
bisected the jaw, basically.
Yeah, which is like the creepiest, leads to the creepiest, trippiest image. Like the bottom of like the jaw is there as Elder Togoro's head pops up the top.
Yeah, which is just like he didn't just absorb Elder Toguro. He has for the longest time technically been Elder Toguro.
Oh yeah, it's that's the thing. That ever since he was eaten, he basically took over the guy's body from inside.
He basically became a parasite.
Yeah,
which is very reminiscent of the manga Parasite.
Again, very just nightmare fuel to the tease.
Like when you see him like forming in Gourmet's belly and then in his hand, it's just like you can't escape Elder Toguro when he's literally inside your body.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is eat that guy.
Yeah.
Forget Montezuma's revenge. That's Elder Togoro's revenge.
Ugh. That's like probably like the most disturbing thing this series has done so far.
Yep.
Like I mean, probably with all these other things that we've seen, that is the most disturbing thing in it.
Yep. Anyway, so again, nightmare, just the nightmare fuel of Elder Toguro in control of the body. Then we have Kurama using the sinning plant.
The sinning tree, which is like,
Oh, the sinning tree.
which like I wish he could have done this before.
I mean, he used other creepy plant stuff, so you know.
I know, but basically what it
Believe me, you
does,
have to have a really evil person to use this on too. So
it is true, but the idea with the sinning tree is that it traps somebody in their own mind and basically drains them until they die.
it's a lot. You know, remind me a lot of
What's that?
the Black Mercy from well, it was from the Superman comic that Alan Moore did. It was from For the Man Who Is Everything, which got adapted in JLU. But essentially, it is the Black Mercy is this plant. Basically, it was Superman's birthday, and he thought it was like a gift that somebody gave him. It was actually Mongol like set a trap for Superman. He basically opened it up. It's a plant that attached itself like a parasite to him, and it basically gave him like a hallucination, almost like perchance the dream from Batman the Animated Series. Gave him like a vision of this is your perfect world. That well, you know, eventually you'll stop breathing and you'll die.
Fun fact, it's the only time Alan Moore ever allowed his name to appear in one of his adaptations.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So,
but yeah, so you got a lot of Black Mercy vibes, only a lot more horrific here.
obviously, but like, so the idea is that it attaches to this person and traps them in their own mind and drains them until they die. But that's the kicker. Elder Toguro is essentially immortal.
Yeah,
So
because again, he keeps regenerating and moving his body around.
so he'll basically be stuck in the sinning tree for the rest of his life.
Which is just such a great fate for this guy. He keeps imagining all the horrific. He gets to imagine all the ways, and the fact that it's like it's not even like it's working out for him. It's like, why won't you die, Kurama? It's like he's gonna keep trying to kill Kurama for forever, and it will never work, and he will die. He'll keep dying over and over again.
It's like it's terrifying, but it's one that it's. I can't say it's
This
not,
guy was a monster. He deserved this.
I'm not saying it's not well deserved. A
Yeah.
fate worse than death, says Jonesy D.
Yep. So it was a really cool idea. One of Kurama's coolest and coldest moments in the show.
That's like nobody shed a tear over that.
No, I shed a tear at how beautifully awesome a fate it was.
Yeah, it's like makes you shed a tear. It's like, why didn't you do this sooner, Kurama?
Yep. So then we have the gatekeeper, which is Azuki, who basically uses the dark soul to this big face shadow on the wall to swallow Kuwabara, Hiei, Kurama, and Seaman.
Everyone except Yusuke.
Yeah. So and like I said, there's some parallels between Yusuke befriending his demon pals to Itsuki forming a relationship with Sensui.
Yeah.
So it's not really. He's not even really fighting these guys. He's basically just making sure they stay out of the fight and just kind of watching from the sidelines.
And then and essentially making sure the fight is detective versus detective.
Yeah. So Sensui versus Yusuke round two, the Act Two battle, as it were. So we have like Yusuke open up with like as Kuwabara calls it, like now that punch is making a statement, the statement punch, where he has this big old punch to the Sensui, and we have this great line about spirit being a spirit type is like the one thing I've ever been good at. It's very much the kind of like Yusuke's Ash Williams moment, his Bruce Campbell moment of like, there's only one thing I'm good at, and it's this job, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna stop me from doing it. So it's an intense battle. Yusuke, he's again, it's very. I love this. He's the problem is that Yusuke is faster than Sensui. We call this out. He's faster than Sensui. The problem is, I've been you. I've been your job. I know every move you're gonna make. It's predictable from the experience that he has over Yusuke. So this leads to Yusuke acting unpredictably. Jumps into like little acid water, and he.
I thought that was just regular water.
Well, it's kind of it is dissolving a little bit if you look. So I mean,
it does take his shirt.
Yeah, that's the thing. It takes but it like burns holes in the shirt if you look at it. So there's something. It's like not acid like instant stomach acid will kill him, but it's like
It's corrosive.
Yes, it's corrosive. So he jumps out, but the idea is he got into the water and basically the shirt got. I love this move. The unpredictable move of he basically uses the t-shirt to bind their hands together so he can just wail on this guy and give him such an awesome beatdown. That was such a to me. Here's the thing that to me that was like my favorite moment in the fight between these two guys.
Like it was Yusuke basically, like because as Yusuke says later, like basically Sensui has been trained in skilled martial arts. Yusuke is a street fighter.
which is great.
It's like so Yusuke knows how to fight dirty.
Yep. So this is when, to me, I would call this the domino falling before the stuff I don't like happens. This is what leads to it. So it kind of starts here. So everything up to this point, I think, has been fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So here's the turn that is the domino falling for the story. We have the literal spirit gun from Sensui, which basically his hand is revealed to somehow be like an actual gun.
Yeah, that part was kind of like, wait, he can turn his hand into a gun.
Yeah, and it shoots Yusuke, so Yusuke's like gets shot very shockingly. And we reveal that Sensui has the seven followers, the seven disciples of Sensui were actually a misnomer. Really, he has seven personalities, which, yeah, this is where things start to take the nosedive.
Basically, he is basically a very extreme version of dissociative identity disorder.
It's kind of like the movie Split, but with spirit detectives.
Yep. So the revelation being that when he saw the Feast of Sin, it basically
He had coping mechanisms in the seven personalities.
it created seven different personalities with seven different names, basically to carry out the things that his base personality didn't couldn't handle and didn't want to do. So in a way, he stayed morally clean.
So Kazuya, I think Kazuya is basically this very violent, foul-mouthed, like bruiser of a guy who he's the one with the gun hand, particularly. Um,
He's like the main alternate one.
yeah, he's the main alternate. That's what I'm saying. We have seven personalities. We don't really get to know the rest of them except for technically, I guess the main Sensui is just still called Sensui. So what's the point? It's just stupid.
Well, like the main one known as Shinobu.
Well, yeah, but his full name is Shinobu Sensui though, so it's
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so it's just kind of weird that we kind of I didn't like this. The seven personality thing was like on the rewatch. I forgot, like, oh man, they made it seven. It's not just like two or something. It's like, oh god, it's like seven. Anyway, so
And basically Kazuya is essentially this like borderline gangster like character
yeah,
who's basically willing to do all the dirty work that Sensui isn't.
and like Kazuya, far less interesting than Sensui. Sensui's whole thing is that he was cruelty for a point. That's what I'm saying. Like this guy. I know I always give Hiei this comparison, but so this guy legitimately had like racial ghoul kind of stuff going on. He was very much. It was kind of like it's kind of like Bane in Dark Knight Rises, I guess, to a point. Where this guy, he's very much the other disciple, but it worked out.
Yeah.
It's very much this guy's trying to he's trying to open everyone's mind to like my way is the right way. My way is actually going to help. It's like he's trying to open Yusuke's, the older, wiser spirit detective, the younger one. All that's interesting to me. And we have this guy's just like, yeah, I'm going to shoot this guy now. It's barely,
It's the reason. Well, obviously, the reason is to show the contrast between his vastly different personalities within him,
yeah, it was just
and just to show how much the Feast of Sin broke him.
yeah. I mean, I get what they're going for with the need for the split personalities, but the fact they waited this long for it, and it's,
And it is kind of a clever subversion. That do you think the seven people that he's talking about are the people that he recruited with those territories? But nope, it's just seven different versions of him.
No, you're right. It just feels like if we're not going to explore the seven specific versions, it feels kind of like a waste, and we've condensed it.
But it also does kind of explain why the mind reader saw those different thoughts inside Sensui's head.
Yeah. All right. So Yusuke's in trouble. He's getting shot the heck out of by this guy. This guy's playing dirty pool. Koima shows up with the last resort, which is the limit being removed via the pacifier. The pacifier basically has all the reason we reveal the reason Koima's had a pacifier all this time is not just to complete the toddler ensemble, but because he's channeled his spirit energy into that thing for all the years he's been alive.
And is basically a stopgap. Because the entire time, the reason why they wanted Kuwabara was to cut the net.
Yeah.
And
using his dimension sword technique with basically the green version of the spirit sword.
And the idea was that they would have Gourmet each Kuwabara, absorb the power, and then cut the net.
Yeah.
And so this is basically seen as a last resort.
Yeah.
But Yusuke stops him. Yusuke stops Koenma from using it.
Yes, he does. Basically, of course, if you use the pacifier to create this new Kakai barrier net, which will basically, kind of trap him in there. And it'll also be set up that the pacifier is supposed to be saved for a conflict 100 years from now.
Yep.
Which I love the intimidation there. Like, oh god, this thing is saved for like a disaster 100 years from now. Like, what's waiting 100 years from now?
But now there's a reason to use it.
Yep. So, and the fact that Koenma acknowledges that he's there, also, we kind of glazed over this, was the fact that when he left Spirit World, it was potentially for the last time he said his goodbyes to the ogre.
Aw. But we were making progress!
Yep. But George will miss you. It's like when the ogre refers to himself in third person, it's kind of silly but funny.
And Koenma even is showing a soft spot to George now.
Yeah. So it was a sad goodbye to George there. The fact that Koenma, he does feel responsible for like the spirit detective going rogue, and that he's atoning for his mistakes here. And Yusuke refuses to let him intervene in the fight, and he ends up punching Koenma, which he's been waiting to do for a long time.
I can't say I felt bad for him.
Yeah. So Yusuke demands to face the man in charge. Which basically leads to S-Class Sensui, aka S-Class Shinobu.
And he has a different kind of energy within him.
Yes, because now he's in S-Class.
Basically, what's the name of the energy dragon?
Well, I mean, it's like
because there's divine energy and there's demon energy.
Yeah.
But there's a third energy that Sensui has.
I'm blanking on. I mainly down to the S-Class energy, so I don't really know if that's
Right. Hold on.
So when Shinobu here shows up there, like he extends his hand to handshake.
Sacred energy.
Sacred energy. He's exuding sacred energy. So we have this painful handshake where basically, you see he's not shaking his hand, but he basically, we have the moment kind of here where he, it's not this exact moment from our thumbnail, but it precedes this earlier, where initially he's like forces the handshake and it hurts. And then like moments later, he just, with so much ease, he breaks Yusuke's arm, which is so brutal to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gif that I saw is like actually just shows how effortlessly he just punches up slightly and it like shatters Yusuke's arm.
Yeah.
Which is disturbing as heck.
Yeah, and also like Yusuke, like he basically he catches like the pacifier in his toe, and like Koenma's like waking up, like, "Oh, Yusuke, I put that back in my mouth. Come on."
Yeah.
So Yusuke has this awesome dirty hairy bluff, which essentially is we see the pacifier plan fail as it gets destroyed in this big like burning energy. But he basically Koenma tries it and it starts to hold him, but then it fails as his power is just too overwhelming. It gets destroyed, and Yusuke then has his big dirty hairy bluff where it's like he basically knows he's basically using what Kuwabara did to him, where it's like he's using his potential death to motivate his friends to get out of there and save the day. And this leads to such an emotional high mark. I will give you this. Okay, like after the dominoes start to fall here. But the Sensui split personality thing is already at where it wanes. But this is actually a really good bit that happens right before we go off the reservation. So Kuwabara, like trying his all, much like he did earlier, him being motivated to summon the Dimension Sword. We flash back to how we met Urameshi,
Oh yeah, that was a great moment.
their friendship, and the fact that he remembers me.
It's like no, it's like oh, isn't it? Because at first I think Yusuke did not remember him at all.
Yeah. The fact that Kubar kept coming back and he kind of respected the fight that he kept putting up despite losing every time. It's like Kubar is Sisyphus with the rock, ultimately.
His Sisyphean task was ultimately to defeat Yusuke.
Yeah.
Because
So,
it is kind of interesting that like the previous arc showed how he and Keiko got to know each other. This one is the one that shows how he and Kuwabara knew each other.
one could argue the real love story. No, it's the bromance.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, though, so Kuwabara is desperate to save Yusuke, and he ends up basically as Yusuke is he's not faring well in the fight. He summons the Dimension Sword to escape, but just as he does it, it's like it's too late. Yusuke has been killed. It's too late. Yusuke dies again.
Yep, Yusuke's died twice.
Yep, so does Pooh. And when Pooh dies, like, no, not Pooh. Oh, God.
But then
Botan, here's the thing. So Botan feeling the death, that's what really guts me in the feels.
Yeah.
She gets the spirit world to tell King what's going on, and she just feels, oh, I felt this before. It's like, oh, my God. So they made you feel Yusuke's death. Yusuke's second death here, it felt like, oh, God, that's... like it's very much a say it can't say it ain't so kind of like it was an ending of like, oh my God, we ended with Yusuke dying again, and that's
the story. The story begins with him dying.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's been so long since we've done that before, and he's dead again. You're wondering, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And poor Kuwabara, he's just so despondent, and he's listening for the heartbeat, nothing, and he is again, it's so sad to see Kuwabara utterly bereft, and just they all level up simultaneously, much like Yusuke did with Kuwabara's fake death.
He said this death is actually real.
Yep, actually real. He's like, oh, you're just getting back at me with Toguro. He says, oh no, he's actually dead. He is like, again, Chris Sabat, man, as Kuwabara.
Oh yeah.
So they all take the fight, the demon world. They cut through the Kakai barrier, like a little hole in the Kakai barrier. They go to the demon world.
Which was seemingly Sensui's plan the entire time.
Oh yeah. So this is where we get. So King Yama, he sends the Spirit Defense Force, which is the last resort, as a vote of no confidence in Koenma. He basically, they're on a mission to do two things: seal the Kakai barrier at all cost, and kill Yusuke,
and basically eliminate Yusuke's body before his spirit.
Yeah, which is like, oh man, for his spirit, wow, what is happening here? We're killing Yusuke, like we're destroying the body. What is happening? So this is when. So I mean, I don't know. I was watching for the first time. I was like, oh my God! I mean, he's got to come back somehow, right? But the way in which we do it. This is where things take a turn for me, folks. To me, this is the big controversial choice of the arc in the series.
Yeah.
So Yusuke, we reveal through the Spirit the Defense Force guy, Yusuke has the atavism of the Mazaku in his DNA, in his body, his spirit energy, I guess. Basically, go on.
A demon ancestor.
Yeah, demon ancestor, 44 generations before him. The Mazaku. Mazaku is basically this S-class demon, like a legendary S-class demon, like an end-all be-all one from Demon World.
And one we might have heard of before.
Yes. And it's been part of, again, it's basically this, again, retroactively, it's kind of like it's a revelation or a retroactive, however you want to look at it. It's basically, we reveal that he's been part demon the whole time. It's been dormant in him, but it's been there. And it really, I never liked this because I think it undercuts the impressive feats that Yusuke has achieved. And here's the comparison I'm sure a lot of people could make. And I could see an argument for it. I still can't abide by it. You could make the Goku argument with it.
You're kind of taking the words out of my mouth. I'll just say it.
Yeah.
The revelation in Z early on that Goku is actually a Saiyan.
Yeah,
alien.
I hear that, but here to me is the difference between them. I could be wrong, but this is just how I feel about it. It just feels that I don't think it's the same as Goku, being revealed to be a Saiyan at the top of Dragon Ball Z, because the Saiyan ultimately was an explanation as to how a human could do this, but really it's the timing. It's less that, it's more the timing. It's the timing that we had it right at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. It's a continuation of a series into a new series. It's
Which technically only is in the anime.
yeah, but
Because
yeah.
remember, in the manga, it's all one continuous thing.
Well, sure, but even then, it's a separation. Like there's a big time jump. There's a big separation between okay, there was the Dragon Ball era at least, and then here's like Goku grown up, even if it's in those Dragon Ball without the Z. It's just still like there's a big separation there, and then it's like after all this time, this is like again, this is like the premise of the show going forward. We need the Saiyan thing has to be indoctrinated into the show, and that's what I'm saying here. Even this revelation turns the show into something else, but Dragon Ball being like this thing that spanned many arcs and kind of many series, or however you want to label it, manga or no. You actually this is like one continuing story, and it's like halfway through it turned to a different show. Not even halfway through, like towards the tail end, like for the last third or like the last fourth and kind of fourth and like a quarter, however you want to do that fraction. But I don't know. To me, it just still feels like for me it boils down to this moment, Jake, and this is why I feel the way I feel about it. Like Kurama and Hiei laughing it up, but just the realization that he's a demon. It's like that undercuts like everything Hiei respected about Yusuke to me a little bit.
I could I though I still I don't really see it as a retcon or anything
Well,
like
again, not a ret. I keep using the word retcon, but
I
like
know.
a
But my point is I don't think it actually undercuts much of Yusuke's development at all personally, because it does show that it only reactivates because of all the work that Yusuke put in.
I'm not so sure about that because it sounds like it's more like just because he comes back because he got killed a second time. Like the first time he was just an average Joe human. It was just it's a very recessive trait. Yes, like him being made a spirit detective and being able to summon spirit energy, just period. Like that was upon his revival. So him being revived and being made a spirit detective in the first place, again, that basically is what. So if he died again, he would have been a Mazaku. How powerful a Mazaku? You're right. That's unlocked like just how much he could tap into and like literally become the guy later. But it just feels like the whole if he died a second time, then the Mazaku would like manifest itself. So I don't know if that really is necessarily. I don't know. It just feels like like it's a thin line. I can see it's so close to being the Goku thing, but I don't think it is.
I still that was just my 2 cents on that. Like I said,
Yeah.
I know I think I don't have as much of a grievance with it as you do as we're seeing.
Yeah, I want to be honest. I know it sounds like I'm really harping on this, and like, I am, but it's a thing of that's just my personal preference. As far as like how it again, it I think it still feeds into the story and everything we say that everything that happens after this with the story when he comes back as the Mazaku and everything, in the action, how it serves the Sensui story, it complements it very well. It that conveys the story they need to tell and they're looking to tell there. I don't think it gels. I don't think it's as interesting and as solid as the Sensui stuff that we set up. But as far as where it goes and kind of the show that it becomes after that, it's a decent show. It just doesn't feel like what we've gotten prior. So it's a change. It's a big swing. It's not bad what they're doing. So I don't hate it. I just don't like. I really just I don't like kind of saying this whole time. He's been part demon because
And
it's whole like a
But you could arguably, to bring the whole Dragon Ball connection back in, you could arguably say that with Goku's revelation that he is an alien, that it fundamentally changed the nature of from what Dragon Ball was to what Z became.
Well, the thing is, even when we get the Z, though, Goku again, his whole thing is that he's learned all these, the Kamehameha wave, something he would never learn, from the Saiyans. All the methodology, all the humanity, all the stuff that we saw leading up to that point in Dragon Ball. Again, that's the stuff that separates him from the Saiyans. That's what gives him the advantage over Vegeta. I just over that and like the way the Saiyans kind of were. So I think a lot of that is like because of that we didn't take away from what he we didn't take away when we revealed that he was an alien. It's not necessarily basically the Saiyan thing wasn't necessarily like, is why he was a quick study. It's not why he was able to do the stuff in the first place.
I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from,
And
but
I get it. I think it's a thin line between those two. I get that. It's just I don't know. I still think it's like Goku. I think is a little bit more of a I don't know. I think it's more defensible than perhaps. Uh, Plus, I mean, it's also things like 44 generations removed versus being like he directly because it's a whole. You'll see him when we get the four, Jacob. We really treat it like the guy is practically Yusuke's father when it's 44 generations. It's like it's not. That's the thing. But with Goku, it's a lot more direct too. It's a lot more like, okay, this is just what he is the whole time. Where Yusuke's thing is like he's like one maybe 44th demon, but it's like a lot of demon though. Is he being like a 44th of an S class?
yeah.
That's what's weird about it to me too. Is like it's like a very direct link, and it just kind of comes at it. It's kind of come out of nowhere. Just that's the thing too. The execution, like we're not Dragon Ball Z was a starting premise of like, okay, we've had with older Goku. This is the story we're telling now. This is how we're doing it, and we have the lineage of the Super Saiyan, all this kind of stuff that the factor in. They had built upon that, and that was like an evolution of the character. Yusuke was a thing of like yes, he's had this in him. He's bringing it out. We're always kind of wow, but we need it right now because we need some way for him to come back to life, and we need some way for him to fight the bad guy and win and beat him. Basically, we need an excuse for a power up.
And even then, technically, because the thing is, I'm still saying that this isn't a retcon, but the whole alien thing with Goku still kind of technically does count as a retcon.
Well,
more so than this.
We never said how Gohan. We never said like he didn't get bumped on the head.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. There's a little wiggle. I'm saying there's wiggle room there. It's like okay, the Gohan found. We didn't say anything didn't happen there. Technically, the bigger look, there have been retcons in Dragon Ball. I have no argument there. I'm saying that specifically. For example, like, the lore of the Dragon Balls themselves and how they came about. The Mechians is a huge retcon. The whole like demon, the Mechian thing. That was the thing that kind of like people make it work the best they can, but technically it's a retcon.
Yeah.
Like, and anyway. Like I said though, that's just my that's my thing with the whole Mazaku thing. Again, I don't think it's necessary. Again, it just feels like it was like two separations of Yu Hakusho when we introduced this, and the other half, it's still cool. It's just not as cool as I think the show was in the beginnings.
That makes sense.
Because again, like I invested in this Yu Hakusho. I invested in Yusuke and his whole like the kid who did the right thing coming back to life. But it's the idea of like, oh, he's going to die and he's going to come back as a big scary demon the whole time. It'll be fine. It just doesn't undercuts like the growth to me a little bit.
But it does. I still think it ultimately serves the themes for this particular arc.
Yeah, for this arc, sure. It just felt like, man, he really couldn't come up with anything else to end this story.
And maybe instead of like, basically revealing to him that humans are worth fighting for. You mean something like that?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not saying we couldn't come up with like. We probably need to bring Yusuke back, but I think maybe like Pooh coming back and bringing it back might have sufficed. I don't know. But between that and the Sensui stuff, it's just that this is where like the wheels come off of Act 3 for me. We're just kind of coming up with stuff because we didn't want another knuckle down drag out fight like Toguro, so we have to shake it up somehow. That's what it feels like. That's really ultimately all these choices kind of amount to for me. Anyway, so point being, Koima's like taking up for no, we can't destroy Yusuke. He stands up for Yusuke, but enough time has passed for him to basically it's a combination of the Mazaku part of himself, the demon part of himself coming to life, and Pooh showing up in Phoenix form,
which is cool.
Which I told you we set that up with Pooh in the Dark Turn, so it saw like the big blue Phoenix-like energy coming from Pooh. Well, coming from Yusuke, I think by proxy of Pooh, but that was what his spirit thing looked like.
It's pretty cool that it looks like a phoenix.
Oh yeah,
Which is another, which does explain why he's able to come back to life. Because that's, the phoenix's whole thing.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like with the cards that we've been dealt, I think we handled it pretty well. I just I don't think we needed to deal with cards out in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not really trying to change your mind. I'm just giving my perspective on it. Like I'm. It is kind of an unconventional choice. Obviously, you have the benefit of having seen how the series ends with this revelation in mind.
Yeah.
I have not. I do not have that.
And I've been where you are. I've been like, I'll give it some rope, see where it goes. It felt a little off, but then you kind of see how, kind of like if they stick the landing with it. So that'll be what your determining factor is, I guess.
Like I said, like you have the benefit of having seen how the series ends. I have not had that yet. So so you're speaking from that perspective, and I can understand that. Yeah. So, and I'm saying maybe my perspective will match yours by the time the series ends.
We'll see. So Yusuke, he comes back to life. He plays up. This is funny though. So Yusuke, and this is what I'm saying. There are good elements to this where Yusuke plays up the Mazaku lore to scare the Spirit Defense Force guys. And what's great about this is that it is a full circle thing with Yusuke, and that Yusuke at school from the very beginning, he had the he had the bad rep of being the like oh, that Urameshi a demon of a guy, so it's like, well, if we literalize that, so it's kind of like a neat little payoff to that, where he's terrifying the straights at the guys in uniform, being like being, oh, I'm this, the self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Yusuke and Koima, of course, he says, "Nah, I'm just kidding, Koima. You didn't really think I went out with Masaku, did you? Come on." So Yusuke and Koima, they ride Pooh into Demon World to save the day. Yusuke arrives. We have Hiei Kurama again. They're laughing at the realization that he doesn't have a heartbeat. Oh, he's you'll get used to that, Yusuke. And they realize he was demon the whole time, which is no wonder he could do all these impressive feats. Which I said, I'm not thrilled with that, but be that as it may, everyone gets their second win with Yusuke being alive. Kuwabara's still a little freaked out. Like, oh my god, he's alive. He had no heartbeat. Yeah, you'll get used to that. This is a really sweet bit. Now, admittedly, I think Hiei really likes that Yusuke is a demon now, because he feels like he can kind of be more, I think, like, wear it on his sleeve. I like this Yusuke Urameshi guy now. Hiei tells Yusuke that Yusuke, if you lose, I've got your back. Which I was like, oh, such a sweet moment. He's got his back.
And with this one, now to bring back an earlier bit, he'd probably let Yusuke be with his sister now.
Oh yeah.
Over Kuwabara.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
even though he knows he has Keiko.
Yeah.
So
you can have them both. You're a mesh. You can have them both.
Oh god,
detective. You can have them both, detective.
But we know Yusuke wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He'll even though he wouldn't admit it, he loves Keiko.
He does. We all love Keiko.
She is nice. Yeah. She's basically one of the most grounded thing in this entire universe.
Yeah. We all want to have Coco with Keiko. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's point being, everyone gets their second wind. We reveal King Yama kept the S-class demons secret from the Spirit Defense Force, which I feel is again, speaking to the hypocrisy of Spirit World. Just King Yama, he's made some mistakes too.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that he was like, "Oh, I know you guys are in charge of keeping these world-ending demons at bay." But by the way, there's also ones that are S-class as well. So yeah.
Yep. So they have 48 hours to there's a 48-hour time crunch of them sealing the Kakai barrier. So they have to get things done pronto and get back before the barrier closes.
It still just seemed kind of weird that King Yama would kind of be like, oh, hey, by the way, there's also these things called S-class demons. You might want to look into those.
Yeah.
It's like, especially considering they're supposed to be the basically the last resort to preventing, a cataclysm in living world.
You think your crack squad should know about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the compartmentalization strategy maybe not the best for the Yama family.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Yusuke versus Sensui, or I guess Shinobi, round 3. So this is
Shinobi.
them both. Sorry,
Shinobu.
Shinobu.
That's fine. Shinobi is afraid. I think that's some kind of like a sect of ninja or something.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's going to come back, and another thing we'll be talking about after this. So that's why you got it on the brain.
Maybe the next thing we're talking about.
Exactly. So, point being, the Yusuke and Shinobu fight round 3. They're both S class forces at this point. He's got sacred energy. Yusuke's he's an S class demon, or at least fueled by S class demon energy. And we have the giant with this really quick, very giant spirit gun that he launches. He misses him because he's getting used to his power. And you'll notice the detail with Yusuke now. He's got red energy and he's got blue energy. The red energy is the demon side. The blue energy is the kind of detective side.
So Yusuke's essentially gotten this big boost, but with Sensui having this massive collection of sacred energy, he's still proving to be a bit of a match for Yusuke until he hears a voice.
Yeah, so we should mention so Yusuke his the way he's been fighting now for round 3. It's very intense, very single minded. It's basically Yusuke is fighting because he lives for it now, being a demon, or at least being part demon. So it's a pretty even fight, and you get the sense that Yusuke could probably go the distance with this guy. He could probably, over time, he would win. So you don't think Yusuke's not struggling per se, but it's like, he's not finishing him as quickly, because it's an even fight. To give him the edge, though, he starts to hear the heartbeat, and he starts to hear a whisper. He starts to hear a familiar voice. It's Chris Sabat's voice. Not just Chris Sabat, it's Chris Sabat doing the Piccolo voice.
Saying that he has no idea how to use his power properly.
Yeah, so he takes over. So then we have Yusuke going through transformation. Basically, we see the Yusuke going full Masaku.
And he gets these tattoos all over his body, this long hair.
Long Inuyasha hair. As Cool Bar says, looks like he stuck his fingers in an electrical socket.
Or he looks like an 80s hairband reject.
Yeah, that too.
And did you say Inuyasha?
I probably botched the pronunciation. I never watched that show. It's one of the big white hair that guy has.
It does kind of. It is kind of like Inuyasha.
Yeah.
That's one of the same creator of like Rama Half and all that too.
Oh, okay.
Like, let's see. Hold on, but go on.
Anyway, so we have Yamazaku, Yusuke. They're
Rumiko Takahashi. She's done a lot.
Okay.
Like she's basically almost like second in terms of like Osamu Tezuka in terms of influence. Do you know who Osamu Tezuka is?
Not offhand.
He created Astro Boy. He's basically he's basically basically the god of like the godfather of anime and manga.
Nice.
And like she's created like so many influential series such as Rama Half. Like there's Inuyasha. There's Urusei Tatsura. Let's see. She's created a lot. But go on.
Yeah. Anyway, point being, they're fighting. It's we have like the Moscow has a clear advantage. His head butts him like really severely.
Oh yeah.
Yusuke eventually during the action, basically the Masaku is about to fire up the spirit gun and finish this guy, but Yusuke comes to at the last second, trying to look out, because it's like he wanted to. So basically, we have this. It's an important moment for Yusuke where he comes to not in control of his body for the kind of the biggest parts of the fight, and he just comes to during the last blow, only to be a horror of oh, wait a minute, no, I didn't do that. He's basically rooting for Shinobu, which is just like no, look out, get out of the way, and he gets blasted. He basically gets defeated. So the Masaku has robbed Yusuke of his victory. Yusuke's upset at himself, literally, and he'll never know if he won. But also, like, was this his choice? He's essentially killed a human here, so that's another big thing for him too. There's a lot of like Yusuke for the competitive side of him, the fighter in him. It's like he wants to know, like, did I win the fight or did Moscow win the fight? But also, like, did I choose to kill this guy or not? So it's we have a wrap up here. Like Itsuki is he reveals that Shinobu had like half a month to live anyway. That's one of the reasons they put everything into the works now.
He had some kind of rare terminal disease,
Yeah.
basically. All but stated to essentially be cancer.
Yep, and Koenma can't save him because can't save him now that he's dying because he basically secretly saved Game Master with a little bit of the pacifier energy.
Yeah, and not that Itsuki would allow him to be saved anyway.
Yeah.
Itsuki takes his body.
Yeah, but again, he calls it out for like the hypocrisy of Spirit World for causing this mess with him in the first place, which he's kind of right. So it's like I'm not going to let you take his soul or anything. He's coming with me.
And it's kind of creepy.
Oh, it's absolutely creepy. Yeah, he's basically he's romancing the body for the end of time.
He basically, he's also kind of in love with one of Sensui's alternate personalities, which is a girl apparently.
Yeah.
And now he's like kind of like cradling the dead body for all eternity. So who knows? Like maybe Itsuki was kind of manipulating the whole thing as well.
It's possible.
What do you mean? What do you think?
I mean, I didn't overthink it too much. I kind of missed out on which personality, that there was a female personality. I thought it was just, he's like the man himself, which because Kuwabar's reaction to it earlier kind of implied that. So I don't know. I assumed like either the main Sensui or the one that at the very end was the one that Shinobu. It sounds like Shinobu was the one that he liked. But I don't know.
I think he liked all of them.
Yeah, maybe all of them. Regardless, it's the fact that I like that Shinobu in his last moments he tries to give Yusuke peace of mind, like a little respect for him. Like it was hey, look, you beat me. It was you. It was your choice. Like you did this, and it's the basically his whole thing was he wanted to die in Demon War one way or another, and the Mazaku present the ultimate closure for him. Ultimately, it was like humanity in the form of a demon. It was something he didn't expect, and it was like so he went out happy.
That's how he wanted to go.
Yep.
So basically, he Sensui won.
Yep. So our ending here. So this is interesting. This is now, Jay. This is important for the last season. So Yusuke is offered a choice here. He's basically told by Koenma that at least Yusuke feels that the guy who took over the Mazaku, it's like it's not just like an ancient ancestor. Like that guy is alive and he is in Demon World somewhere. And Koenma more or less confirms this. Oh yeah, well here Yusuke, but we have like less than 40 hours before that before the Kakai barrier is closed up, and we're all stuck here. So the question, basically they was presented with the option of you can stay or we can go home. And Yusuke didn't take time to think it over. He said he went with the right choice for the group, which is let's go home. And they're all happy. They all go home.
Which was the right choice.
Yeah, we have a check-in with everyone. Like we have the narrator who basically says it's kind of like what he did with like Yusuke Urameshi from the very beginning, but with everyone.
And he gives them like their birthdays and blood types, which are important for characters in Japan.
Yeah,
because of a belief or at least some kind of superstition that a character's blood type kind of determines, or a person's blood type determines their personality or things like, or traits and things like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so we check with everyone, like Games Master. He's he's a kid making friends now. Not taking life for granted. I believe Seaman. He's a student getting back on the right track thanks to Kuwabar's influence.
Doctor changes his face and then uses his abilities to help people.
Yep, Sniper is like he made a creepy friend.
Yeah, apparently a female sidekick who can apparently see the memories of dead people.
Yeah, yeah,
Or dead things in this case, because she demonstrates it on a dog.
yep. Let's see.
And,
There was
and he seemingly goes after the people who attacked the dog.
yeah. We let's see.
And
The
then,
so
and then according to the narration, disappears.
yep, Kaito, Kido, and Yana.
They live normal lives after.
They promise Genkai not to use their powers again because there'll be temptation, but they promise not to.
But then they follow through and they live normal lives.
Exactly. And let's see. Of course, Gourmet's dead, so nothing for that guy. Um,
Nothing for the, because he got Togoro'd.
yeah, that's I think that's pretty much it for the for as far as like the where are they now kind of thing. Let's see, and then all right, so then
it actually did give some also the narration with Itsuki and Sensui, like talking about like what happened with Sensui, even like and with Itsuki, no records were known and no further were kept.
Yeah,
which is kind of chilling.
We have this great little bit for the whole the title of the saga here, where Hiei did get the tape as promised, and
presumably because Yusuke promised it to him, and that means Yusuke was able to deliver.
Oh yeah, because we saw the tape like in the during the fight, we saw where it was. So.
But when then Kurama finds him after school, it's like it's what you always wanted, Hiei. But then Hiei tosses it in the air and slices like, oh no, it looks like my sword slipped.
Which is just great, and that shows the growth on Hiei without him spelling it out. It's like he doesn't need this dwindle on. He doesn't need to spend time like on the atrocities he man. He knows what he needs to know. He doesn't need to revel in it.
Because he actually likes humanity now.
Yeah. So then
even though he will never say so.
Exactly. So Koenma and Yema, they're at odds now. Basically Yema's like Koenma basically kind of like abandoned his post and everything, and he's pretty much like more or less, there's an official ruling of it in the next season, but essentially, Koenma for all intents and purposes, he's no longer in charge of Spirit World. So,
then, but who will be?
Well, I mean, traditionally King Yema, so King Yema will actually have to do stuff for a living.
Instead of foisting it all off onto his son.
Yeah, and that's how Dragon Ball Z came about. No, I'm kidding. But that's
King Yanma, right?
Well, yeah.
What the king? There's is it?
I can't get one of them's Yama, one's Yema. I keep forgetting which one. I think Yama is Dragon Ball.
They're both meant to be the same character. Like they're both.
Well, yeah, they're both the same character. I'm saying one of them's like a different name.
They're both based on the same Buddhist figure. Basically.
That's right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the point being, the father and son are at odds, and so we're going to be seeing more King Yama. And the flip side, Yusuke. So again, they're trying to get back to normal status quo, normal life. Kubar's looking for like his textbook and everything, and Yusuke is he's distracted. Yusuke, he is haunted by the whole Mazaku thing, and what not so much the I love by when he reunites with Keiko is like the question of like will be able, like, is the hair gonna grow out or what, like will the markings disappear?
And Keiko actually kind of likes the new look. Well, that's what she said anyway. She's like it looks good.
Yeah, I think it was just she was being nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Yusuke, he's distracted, he needs closure. So we go kind of full circle with Yusuke being a little off, feeling a little off after these events. The Togoro fight just felt kind of like on top of the hill. Now it's kind of the Dragon Ball moral, like there's always someone better.
Yep.
So it's kind of like he can't put to bed like the closure, the unfinished question, like there's a part of me out there. It's kind of a father thing, perhaps. It's a little bit like the father figure, like some descendant. There's a relative that I have unresolved daddy issues with. I kind of need to get closure on. That's essentially what we're kind of circling here. And he's so Yusuke, he's still not content after everything that's happened. So he is. It's where we leave the season.
With Yusuke on the roof.
Yep. Unfulfilled.
No. And that concludes part 3 of 4 of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
Definitely, I can kind of see where some of the controversy arose from this one.
Yeah.
So we will see how it goes. Like I said, my closing thoughts. For the most part, this saga was actually really good. I really enjoyed like a lot of the actual getting back into like the what originally started this series with being Yusuke doing some detective work. As good as the tournament was, it was nice to see him go back to doing detective work. I have yet to see how well I like the final fight with Sensui, even if it was kind of all over the place. But I will see. But I'll see how everything else pans out with this decision regarding part 4. Dragon.
Yeah, I look again. I really do like Jack Black side. I think it is underrated. I think it gets lost in the shuffle. I mean, for years I had no idea it existed. I like it. I think the finish was a little iffy. It's not bad. It's not bad to be iffy. It's just it wasn't quite what I wanted. But that's just me though. I think it. I can't say that it hasn't been done similarly. I can't say again. I think Dragon Ball did something like this better. But again, I'm not saying it's a decision. It's not a choice I wanted to see in Yu Yu Hakusho necessarily. But in terms of them doing it, it feels like it feels it feels like the way to go for this story, and I think it complements a lot of the ideas in this story. But it's just for the grand whole, it's a direction I want to go. And again, I know I keep ranting, I keep going into it, but it's just that's the thing. The season I really enjoy it, but I just want to watch. I kind of want to stop before we get to that point. That's not to say I don't like the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho, as I do, like the very ending, which we haven't gotten to yet. But it's just like it still feels like I kind of wanted to end on a high note, like the Dark Tournament, where everything is like kind of implied that okay, well, whatever adventures you cook up in your head, it's going to be it'll be like kind of better than anything you ultimately see as far as an ending goes, and that has nothing to do with really this season, but it's just like like any further adventures. I mean, I think as terms of presenting what a further adventure would look like, this is absolutely like I never would have like called it or expected it, but when I was watching, I was having a great time with it, and I still really love old Spirit Detective versus the new Spirit Detective. I think all that's great, but just when it's the third act, man, we convoluted where we have like split personalities, and then like yeah, Yusuke has been part demon like the whole time, and we're just using it so we can have like a cool end. I don't know. It's just like I said, iffy ending, iffy third act, but solid. But again, it's very solid season. It's good. It's a good season 3. I think ultimately I'd have to rewatch 4 to see how I feel about it. I think it's better than 4, but I mean I know there's one thing that it does that 4 does not have, which is better. But it's like it's the last time we get Yu Yu Hakusho as we know it before we kind of change what the show is altogether. And it's just like it's a different show with characters that we like in it. So yeah. So it's complicated, but not bad complicated.
I still don't understand the gun arm though.
I know I don't understand the gun arm either. Just plus, if you notice, he doesn't have it in the later scenes. Like you can kind of like I don't know if that means the other personalities can like grow the arm, but he's human. I don't get it. That's what I'm saying. It's too many questions.
Also we kind of forgot to mention new intro. Well, not a new song, but new overall intro. And also
yeah,
and also 2 new credit songs. Well, technically the credit song did start during the final episodes of the Dark Tournament, but it's primarily through this.
Yeah.
Like probably like the first and third ending themes are my favorites. So that's all I'm saying. And hello, Table Lord. Unfortunately, you popped up. Unfortunately, you popped in just as we were about to end. But thank you for joining in anyway. Anything else, Dragon?
No, that's about it.
All right. Well, Yusuke, now revealed to be part S-class demon, found the strength to defeat former spirit detective Sensui. Discontent with his victory, Yusuke seeks closure, which means returning to Demon World. Join Yusuke and his friends as they go on one last adventure that will force everyone to look within themselves. This final journey into the spirited world of Yu Yu Hakusho with the Three Kings Saga.